Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow travelers on this journey called life, there comes a moment for each of us when we stand at a crossroads, a moment when we feel that deep pull in our heart, that whisper that says, this can't go on. Something has to change. Enough is enough. Today, I'm standing here to tell you that I have reached that moment, and maybe you have too. Enough is enough. I must change, and I must change this time. Recognizing the patterns that hold us back is one of the most powerful steps we can take toward meaningful change. Often, these patterns form over time, reinforced by our thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. We might fall into routines that feel comfortable but keep us stuck, convincing ourselves that this is just who we are or how life has to be. These self-limiting beliefs can quietly become ingrained, creating a kind of invisible barrier that restricts our potential without us even realizing it. But when we truly examine these patterns, we gain the awareness needed to break free from them. Many of our limiting patterns stem from past experiences and the beliefs we formed in response to them. For instance, if someone experienced repeated rejection or failure in the past, they may develop a pattern of avoiding risks even when new opportunities are promising. This protective behavior may have served a purpose once, helping them avoid further pain, but over time it can become a hindrance. Such patterns form a mental comfort zone, but this zone is not designed to foster growth or new experiences. It's designed to keep us safe from perceived threats. The problem is, staying safe often means we stay small, avoiding the very actions that could help us grow, thrive, and reach our potential. Another common pattern involves the habit of self-doubt and negative self-talk. Many of us fall into cycles where we question our abilities or worry excessively about how others perceive us. We might think, I'm not good enough or I'll never succeed. Over time, these thoughts impact how we see ourselves, holding us back from trying new things or pursuing our dreams. Instead of seeing setbacks as learning experiences, we view them as proof of inadequacy, reinforcing the cycle of self-doubt. This pattern becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, as our reluctance to step forward limits our chances to succeed. To move beyond this, we must confront these negative beliefs and replace them with a mindset of self-compassion and growth. Sometimes the patterns holding us back are situational or relational. We may be surrounded by environments or people who reinforce limiting beliefs or behaviors. For example, staying in a toxic relationship or environment where we're undervalued can cause us to internalize others' low expectations. We start to see ourselves through the lens of their criticisms or lack of support, which undermines our confidence and restricts our ambition. Changing our environment or setting boundaries with people who drain our energy can be challenging, but it's essential to break these cycles and create space for personal growth. Another subtle yet powerful pattern is procrastination and avoidance. We might put off taking action, telling ourselves that we'll start tomorrow or next time it'll be different. This habit of postponing change creates a cycle where we never actually move forward, as each delay makes it harder to begin. Procrastination is often rooted in fear, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. By recognizing and addressing these underlying fears, we can disrupt this pattern and build momentum to start making the changes we desire. The first step to breaking any limiting pattern is self-awareness. By becoming conscious of our habits and behaviors, we can begin to understand what drives them. This self-awareness helps us recognize how these patterns have shaped our lives and the ways they've held us back. It's important to approach this process without judgment or harsh criticism. Instead, view it as an opportunity for self-discovery. Reflect on the areas where you feel most frustrated or dissatisfied. Consider whether certain behaviors or mindsets have consistently prevented you from achieving your goals. This honest self-reflection lays the groundwork for change, helping us identify where we need to focus our efforts. Once we've identified our limiting patterns, the next step is to intentionally replace them with empowering behaviors and beliefs. For example, if we habitually doubt ourselves, we can make a conscious effort to practice positive self-affirmations or visualize success. If we avoid risks, we can start taking small, manageable steps outside of our comfort zone to build confidence. By replacing negative patterns with constructive ones, we gradually reshape our mindset and behavior, making real change possible. In recognizing these patterns, we gain a new perspective on our own agency. We realize that we have the power to choose differently, to break free from habits that no longer serve us, and to create new ones that support our growth. It's not an overnight process, but with commitment, patience, and self-compassion, we can dismantle these old patterns and create a new path forward. Every step toward change reinforces our ability to grow, and with each new habit or mindset we adopt, we come closer to living a life that aligns with our true potential. Change is rarely easy, especially when it requires us to step outside our comfort zones and confront things we might have been avoiding. The idea of change can be daunting, not only because it's unfamiliar, but also because it often brings discomfort. Yet this very discomfort is what signifies growth. It's a signal that we're moving beyond our usual limits and expanding our horizons. Embracing the discomfort of change is essential if we want to achieve anything significant in life, as it challenges us to transform and become more resilient, adaptable, and open to new possibilities. When we choose to change, we are challenging habits and routines that we've grown accustomed to, sometimes over years or even decades. Our brains naturally crave stability and certainty, which is why stepping into the unknown can feel intimidating. We're wired to avoid situations that might lead to failure, rejection, or hardship, as these outcomes were once genuine threats to survival. However, in our modern world, many of the risks associated with change are psychological rather than physical, yet our minds still respond as if they are life-threatening. This resistance is natural, but if we're serious about improving ourselves or reaching a goal, we must push through the fear and embrace discomfort as a necessary part of the process. A key aspect of embracing discomfort is understanding that it doesn't last forever. Often, the anticipation of change is worse than the change itself. We spend so much time imagining all the things that could go wrong, and this mental stress can make the journey seem more difficult than it truly is. However, once we begin to take small steps, the fear often diminishes. We start to adapt, and what once felt foreign becomes familiar. By gradually exposing ourselves to new situations, we build resilience, allowing us to handle even greater challenges in the future. There's also immense growth potential in facing discomfort head-on. When we step into new territory, we develop skills we didn't know we had and discover strengths we didn't know existed. Whether it's learning a new job skill, adjusting to a different environment, or simply breaking an unhelpful habit, the process of change requires us to draw upon inner resources. We're forced to think creatively, to problem solve, and to adapt, all of which make us more capable and versatile. Over time, we learn that we're much stronger than we realized, and that discomfort is not something to fear, but something to embrace as a tool for self-development. Many people avoid change because of the pain associated with leaving their comfort zone. Comfort zones are safe, they're predictable, and give us a sense of control. But comfort zones can also be limiting, keeping us stagnant and preventing us from reaching our full potential. If we want to grow, we need to venture beyond these familiar boundaries. Growth only happens when we're willing to try something new, make mistakes, and learn from them. Embracing discomfort means recognizing that there's value in feeling uncertain or even failing, as these experiences teach us resilience and reveal new perspectives we wouldn't have seen otherwise. Another important part of embracing discomfort is learning to accept the inevitable setbacks and obstacles that come with change. No journey of transformation is smooth. There will be moments of frustration, moments when progress seems impossible, and times when we question why we even started. However, these obstacles are an integral part of the growth process. When we learn to push through them instead of retreating to what's familiar, we develop grit and perseverance. Each challenge we overcome strengthens our resolve, making us better equipped to handle future difficulties. When we embrace the discomfort of change, we also open ourselves up to possibilities we might never have imagined. Change often brings unexpected opportunities that can enrich our lives in profound ways. Perhaps stepping out of our comfort zone allows us to meet new people, discover hidden talents, or uncover passions that we didn't know we had. These opportunities may seem daunting at first, but by remaining open and embracing the process, we gain access to experiences that can change us for the better. When we look back on our lives, it's usually the risks we took and the changes we made that brought us the most fulfillment. The discomfort associated with change also helps us develop empathy. By experiencing uncertainty and fear, we become more understanding of others who are going through similar transitions. This empathy allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, as we can relate to their struggles and provide genuine support. Change, that is not only a personal journey, but a way to foster stronger, more compassionate relationships with those around us. It's also worth noting that embracing discomfort doesn't mean we have to enjoy it. It's normal to feel uneasy, anxious, or even frustrated during periods of change. But we don't have to let these feelings stop us. Instead, we can learn to acknowledge them and move forward anyway. By practicing mindfulness, we can observe our emotions without letting them control us. Mindfulness helps us stay grounded, allowing us to focus on the present moment instead of getting overwhelmed by what could go wrong. Over time, we become more comfortable with discomfort, seeing it not as an obstacle, but as a sign that we're on the path to growth. A practical way to start embracing discomfort is by setting small, manageable goals that push us just slightly out of our comfort zone. This might mean speaking up more in meetings, setting boundaries in relationships, or trying a new hobby. Each small step builds our tolerance for discomfort, making it easier to take on larger challenges in the future. The more we practice facing discomfort, the more it becomes a habit, and eventually we start to feel empowered by the process. We learn to trust ourselves and our ability to handle whatever life throws at us. In the end, embracing the discomfort of change is about committing to personal growth. It's a promise we make to ourselves to keep moving forward, even when the road is difficult. Change may not be easy, but it's worth it. The rewards of growth, self-discovery, and resilience far outweigh the temporary discomfort we feel along the way. When we look back on our journey, we realize that each challenge, each moment of discomfort, played a vital role in helping us become the person we are today. And by embracing the discomfort of change, we empower ourselves to keep evolving, to keep pushing our limits, and to keep reaching for a life that aligns with our deepest potential. Taking ownership and responsibility for our lives is a powerful and transformative decision that allows us to step into true personal empowerment. When we take ownership, we are accepting that we alone are in charge of our choices, actions, and responses to circumstances. It's easy to look outward and blame others, whether it's our upbringing, our environment, or even unlucky events for why we may feel unfulfilled, stuck, or unable to move forward. But until we take full responsibility, we remain at the mercy of external factors, believing that things outside our control define our lives. Ownership is about reclaiming our power, understanding that our choices directly shape our outcomes. Taking responsibility starts with self-reflection. It requires us to be honest about the decisions we've made, the habits we've developed, and how they contribute to where we are now. This isn't about self-blame, it's about acknowledgement. Self-reflection allows us to see where we may have let ourselves down by not setting boundaries, giving in to procrastination, or allowing negative influences into our lives. Through this honest assessment, we gain clarity on what needs to change. Recognizing that we play a role in our circumstances is liberating because it reveals that we also have the ability to create change. Taking responsibility doesn't mean ignoring or minimizing external challenges, but it does mean that we focus on what we can control, our reactions, and our future choices. One of the most difficult aspects of taking ownership is letting go of excuses. Excuses serve as temporary relief from discomfort, justifying why things haven't changed or why certain goals remain unmet. We might say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough resources, or I'll start when the timing is better. But while these reasons may feel valid, they are often just barriers we place in our own way. Letting go of excuses requires courage. It means acknowledging that while circumstances may not always be ideal, we have the power to work with what we have and make the best of it. When we refuse to hide behind excuses, we open ourselves to new possibilities and solutions. We stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable and start seeing them as challenges we are capable of overcoming. Taking responsibility also means being proactive. Instead of waiting for things to change or relying on others to create opportunities, we begin to take steps toward our goals ourselves. This might mean learning new skills, seeking out mentorship, or putting in extra effort where it's needed. Being proactive puts us in the driver's seat, allowing us to shape the direction of our lives instead of being passive participants. Every step, however small, reinforces our sense of control and purpose. When we act, we build momentum. And with momentum comes confidence. We start to realize that we are fully capable of making progress, even if the path isn't always straightforward. A crucial part of ownership is accepting that setbacks and failures are part of the journey. When we take responsibility, we don't shy away from mistakes. Instead, we learn from them. Mistakes offer valuable lessons about what doesn't work, helping us refine our approach. Rather than dwelling on the disappointment, we ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? This mindset transforms failures into stepping stones, allowing us to grow wiser and stronger with each setback. By taking responsibility for our failures as well as our successes, we develop resilience and adaptability, essential qualities for long-term success. Ownership also enhances our relationships. When we take responsibility for our actions and attitudes, we become more reliable and trustworthy, both to ourselves and others. We stop blaming others for our frustrations or disappointments and start addressing issues directly. This builds stronger, healthier relationships because we communicate openly and resolve conflicts with maturity. We stop expecting others to change for our benefit, focusing instead on our own growth. In taking responsibility for our own happiness and fulfillment, we free others from the burden of making us feel complete. As a result, our relationships become more fulfilling, based on mutual respect and understanding rather than dependency or blame. Ultimately, taking ownership and responsibility is about embracing our power to create the life we desire. It requires honesty, courage, and self-discipline, but the rewards are invaluable. When we fully accept that we are responsible for our choices, our growth, and our happiness, we unlock our potential to achieve our goals. We become resilient in the face of challenges, adaptable in the face of change, and unwavering in our commitment to self-improvement. Taking ownership is not a one-time decision, but a daily practice of choosing to be accountable to ourselves, to follow through on our intentions, and to persist even when things get tough. Through ownership, we become the authors of our own story, defining our path with intention and purpose. Committing to consistent, small actions is one of the most effective approaches to achieving meaningful, lasting change in any area of life. When we think about reaching a big goal or transforming ourselves, it's tempting to focus on making drastic changes or seeking immediate results. However, real progress is often made through small, manageable steps that, over time, compound into significant change. The power of small, consistent actions lies in their simplicity and sustainability. They are easier to start and stick with, reducing the chances of burnout and making it possible to build momentum that leads to larger accomplishments. Small actions are the foundation of lasting change because they are practical and achievable. When we set overly ambitious goals, it's easy to become overwhelmed or intimidated, leading us to procrastinate or give up. By breaking down big objectives into smaller, manageable steps, we create a path that feels less daunting and more approachable. For example, if someone wants to improve their physical fitness, committing to 5 minutes of daily exercise might seem insignificant compared to a 1-hour workout. But that 5 minutes each day is achievable, even on a busy schedule, and once it becomes a habit, it can gradually increase. Over weeks and months, that small daily commitment can build up to a regular workout routine, leading to noticeable progress without the initial overwhelm. Consistency is the key to turning small actions into lasting habits. Taking action only occasionally, no matter how ambitious, is unlikely to create sustainable change. On the other hand, when we show up every day, even in small ways, we begin to internalize these actions as part of our routine. Consistency trains our brains to expect and rely on these actions, making them easier over time. In a sense, it's like planting a seed and nurturing it daily with regular care. It grows and strengthens. This daily commitment creates a sense of discipline and resilience, making it easier to continue even when motivation wanes. Another reason small, consistent actions are so powerful is that they build confidence and reinforce a positive mindset. Every time we complete a small task related to our goal, we experience a sense of accomplishment, however minor it may seem. These small wins add up, creating a feeling of success that fuels further action. As we witness our progress, no matter how gradual, we begin to trust in our ability to follow through. This growing confidence motivates us to continue, and we become more willing to take on slightly bigger challenges as our belief in ourselves strengthens. Over time, we start to see ourselves as someone who can change and grow, which becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The cumulative effect of small actions is often underestimated but incredibly impactful. In any area of life, whether it's health, career, relationships, or personal development, small actions can produce exponential results when done consistently over time. I think about the concept of compound interest in finance. Small, regular investments grow significantly when compounded. In the same way, small, consistent actions compound into large-scale transformation. A writer who commits to writing a few hundred words a day may not see immediate results, but over a year, that daily habit could amount to an entire novel. Similarly, someone who dedicates just a few minutes daily to learning a new skill, like playing an instrument or practicing a language, will be surprised at the progress they make after months of steady effort. Small actions are also powerful because they reduce the fear of failure. Major goals can be intimidating, and the fear of not succeeding can prevent us from starting altogether. But when we focus on small steps, the stakes feel lower, allowing us to take action without the pressure of immediate perfection. If we stumble, the setback feels less consequential, making it easier to get back on track. This approach encourages a growth mindset, where we see each step as a learning opportunity rather than a make or break moment. As we learn and adapt from these small steps, we gain valuable insights that help us make more informed decisions and improve our approach along the way. Another benefit of committing to consistent, small actions is that it builds self-discipline. Self-discipline isn't something we're born with, it's a skill developed through practice. When we show up daily and take small actions, we are training ourselves to stay focused and committed, even when motivation is lacking. Self-discipline helps us push through difficult days and keep going when obstacles arise. It strengthens our ability to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term comfort, a crucial skill in achieving any meaningful goal. Small actions make it easier to build this self-discipline because they're manageable and don't require drastic lifestyle changes, making the habit of consistency much more sustainable. In addition, small actions make it easier to adapt and refine our approach as we learn more. When we take small, consistent steps, we can regularly assess our progress and make adjustments without feeling like we're back at square one. This allows us to be flexible, improving our methods and strategies as needed. For example, if someone is working toward a healthier lifestyle by cooking at home, they might start with preparing one meal a week. As they gain confidence, they can try new recipes, explore healthier ingredients, and gradually increase the number of home-cooked meals. This adaptability ensures that the path to our goals remains dynamic and responsive to our evolving needs and insights, rather than rigidly adhering to an overwhelming plan. Committing to small actions consistently also teaches us the value of patience. In a world that often glorifies instant results, patience is a rare but essential virtue. Small actions remind us that change doesn't happen overnight, it requires sustained effort over time. By committing to a gradual process, we learn to appreciate the journey, recognizing that real growth and progress are the product of persistence. This patience helps us avoid the trap of giving up when results aren't immediate, allowing us to focus on the process itself and trust that the results will come in time. In summary, committing to consistent, small actions is a powerful and sustainable way to achieve meaningful change. Small steps make big goals less intimidating, build confidence through small victories, create the discipline needed for long-term success, and allow us to adapt our approach as we learn. They teach us patience, resilience, and self-compassion, helping us appreciate the process of growth rather than just the destination. When we focus on making small, consistent changes, we create a foundation for success that is built to last, leading to transformation that feels natural and attainable rather than forced or overwhelming. Over time, these small actions compound, leading to big achievements that reflect our dedication, patience, and perseverance.